Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Hugh here at Loxone, and I'm here with another one of our focus webinars. So as per usual, we like to look in at a focus topic of Loxone, whether it be a specific use case or a specific function or function block. For today's topic, we're going to continue the theme that's been running the last few days of looking at features that will be coming up in version 11. And one of the new features coming up in version 11, funnily enough, was a feature that we've already done a config challenge on. And the config challenge, I believe Adrian Brown did the nicest config for us using a dimmer block and, I can't even remember now. I think it was a couple of greater or less thans, maybe even a 2-position controller. And that particular feature is daylight responsive lighting. Might also be called daylight harvesting or constant brightness, several different terms it could go by. And previously in Loxone, this was somewhat complex to configure. You needed 2 or 3 different function blocks to do it, and it would only work with lighting actuators that were standard. It wouldn't work with smart actuators, so things like tree lighting, RGBW dimmers, even dimmer extension outputs, unless they got changed to standard, in which you lost a bit of the functionality. We now have a function block for this that is, depending on the current beta release, is called either Daylight Harvesting Controller or Daylight Responsive Lighting Controller. Version 11 is still to be released. Translations are still being finalized. But essentially what this does and what it is for is, in an office, you have generally a minimum brightness level, a minimum lux level that you have to reach at table height. Now, they normally specify in a commercial environment that at a working table, you should be hitting 600 lux for good working lighting. Now, what tends to happen in most commercial buildings is when the lighting design is implemented, and by lighting design, I usually mean that an electrical wholesaler has run the floor plans through Relux or Dialux and has put about 40 LED panels in a 2 square meter room. But essentially, the lighting design is based on there being no other light source in the room other than the lighting that you're fitting, and that's then going to provide 600 lux. However, you go and open up a set of blinds in an office, and you've got potentially on a summer's day a lot of sunshine coming in and a lot of natural light entering that room. And so what we're then wanting to do is, that's why there's different names for it, like daylight harvesting or responsive lighting control. But what we want to do is we want to dim the lights in the room or brighten them depending on how much ambient light is getting into the room from the outside world, so that we're always maintaining 600 lux at the desk, and that the dimming up or down of the lights in the room is very, very smooth and not that noticeable for the employees, but we're always maintaining 600 lux. Now, why do we want to do this? Why do we care? Well, ultimately we care because we spend a hell of a lot of money lighting up buildings. Even on modern LED fittings, which obviously are a lot lower consumption than traditional fittings, if you consider that the average workplace, the average office building is open maybe 220 days of the year, is probably open, or people probably working in that building for 10 to 12 hours a day for those 220 days a year, and you've potentially got a few hundred light fittings that are maybe up to 10, 15 watts each, depending on whether they're panels or spots, then if you can even reduce that over the course of the year by maybe 30 or 40%, which is entirely doable, you're talking savings potentially in the realm of thousands of pounds, depending on the size of the building. Now, I actually did do this calculation for a fairly typical office building that had 2 large open plan office areas, probably about 150 square meters each for the 2 open plan office areas. They had been designed with LED panels throughout. Those LED panels were going to be Dali anyway. And I did some quick Googling to work out how many sunny days per year we have, looked at the rough orientation of the windows that were in these open plan offices, and I did work out that they would be able to save about per year off their electricity bill, just with some quick maths. My math skills are not the greatest, which my colleagues will be able to attest to, but I'm okay with a calculator. Now, if we consider at the cost of integrating all that with Loxone, we're probably talking about a few £1,000s for this office. But if we're considering that they plan to inhabit this office for the next 10 years, then they're actually saving money. This is actually a return on investment for them. And so this is why we should be considering it. It's a fairly simple thing to roll out that can have a big impact on your bottom line as a company and also on the well-being of your staff. And as we all know, well looked after staff perform better. So what is the new function block and how do we configure it? For that, let's take a look over at config. And so I've got a config file here. Doesn't really matter what any of the other rooms are. What I've done is I've got a demo case just here that I'll share my screen to. So here's the demo case. And on said demo case, I have an RGB dimmer, which does this LED strip, and a motion sensor, which has a brightness sensor built in. Now, obviously, when we're talking about brightness for constant light control, ideally, we should be measuring brightness from the desk. This is the best place to measure brightness from. So it would be ideal in an open plan office to have at least one brightness sensor that is at desk height, which, funnily enough, this one is. Otherwise, if you do have a motion sensor, a brightness sensor on the ceiling, you can still use it. It will be capturing reflected or refracted light. And that's still fine to use, but what you need to do is set this up once the building's been finished, because the level of reflection and refraction is going to be based on the objects in the room. So wait until they furnish the office out, get yourself a little motion sensor air or something that you keep in your van and temporarily connect it to the system, stick that on the desk to measure when you're at 600 lux and compare that against what the one on the ceiling says. So if the one on the ceiling says 200, when this one's reading 600, you know that 200 lux on the ceiling equals 600 lux down here. Perfect. So then configuring it. So as I said, I've got my RGB dimmer, got my brightness sensor. Let's stick those out onto the page. So you can see here is my RGB dimmer, and I'm going to leave it as a smart actuator because, as I said, the new block should be able to work out smart actuators. And then all I need is the brightness sensor from that motion sensor tree. Then there is one single function block that goes in between. It's currently called the daylight harvesting controller. Translations are liable to change before release. Brightness then goes on to CB, which is actual value of the brightness. The output goes on to AQ, and AQ will automatically adjust itself based on the type of output you've put there. Then in the parameters, you say what your target brightness is. You say what your hysteresis value is. So anyone that's watched my 2-position controller focus series video will know what hysteresis is. And then you can select your step size. So that is the jumps in percentage that it takes to get to the desired brightness level, the desired dim level on the strip. And then the only other things you need in the block on the input side is an activation input and a reset input. So the activation input could be the first person who arrives in the morning with their NFC code touch. The reset could be the last person who leaves with a triple click. So let me just show you the activation, and we'll use the EN input, and I'll just take spare input from the top of the demo case. Oh, no, not there. Not there. On EN. Let's save that in. And then it should start working. It should, in fact, start working almost straight away as soon as it saves. So I'll just wait for it to start back up again. Here we go. Start live view and look at this. Our activation input is on. We're currently reading 161 lux. So look, it has turned the light up to 100%. And now I'm going to bring out my super sophisticated phone that has a flashlight on. And if I just start increasing the brightness above that motion sensor, watch what starts happening to the LED strip. And you can see it there on live view as well. It's starting to dim down. So there we have it, constant light control. If I start taking this phone away very, very gradually, so that you can see that the brightness level is starting to decrease. And let's try and get to the point where we're sitting just around 600 lux. And so 2 position controller rules, I'm not 50 lux under 600 yet, so it won't turn the brightness back on. So there we go. So you can see now it's starting to rise back up again. And it's starting to dim up ever so gradually. And there we go. We're now at 519 lux. And look, it will do when it gets to 550, because again, hysteresis, it will then stop. There we go. And look at that, stopped at 68, just dimming itself down. So you can see quite hard to get it perfect with the only thing I've got being a flashlight. But essentially what should happen is, as long as it's sitting within that hysteresis value, it should just stop where it is. But unfortunately, my hands are not quite that nimble. If I just stop showing my screen to show you this proper, so you can see there, this is at the moment dimming up. It's dimming up because we are well under our desired brightness. I'm only at about 161 lux. Again, start increasing the brightness level. And you'll see there, you'll start to see that the LED strip is dimming itself down. So you can see it's a nice gradual fade between dim up, dim down. I'm determined to get it so that we can stop it at about 600 odd lux, but it requires me to be, there we go, look at that, I've got it. So we're currently sitting at 591 lux, so we're within that hysteresis band, and my LED strip has stopped at 50% because that is the brightness that it's worked out we need to be at for that particular level. And there we go, you can see it on here. And that is the daylight harvesting controller / brightness controller / daylight responsive lighting controller. Really, really useful in a commercial office space. I could probably also demonstrate if I took my phone away completely, and instead of using my phone to change the lux level, let's actually lift the blinds up in the room that I'm in. So in this room here, if I just lift up all the blinds, you can hear them going. There you go, you can see my brightness is going up. And so now this is a good approximation of a proper office space with natural light streaming in. And what I've got here is, even with the natural light on today, we are just above 600 lux at 100% brightness. So it's going to keep that 100% brightness. Cool. And that is daylight responsive lighting. Thank you everyone ever so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, please join me for more of these videos, and we will look at more and more in-depth topics of Loxone, what we can solve, how we can do it, and any function blocks that will be coming or that are already there that we can do some really, really neat stuff with. And goodbye, everybody.